Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. This is Geoff with Fluent American checking in again. And today we're going to be doing some more minimal pairs, focusing on some vowel sounds. Now, I know we're also starting a little bit early, so my apologies if we caught you at a bad time for this, just due to some schedule changes. But yeah, we're going to be looking at these vowel sounds here: the ah sound, the sound, the aw sound, and the O sound. We'll talk about mouth position, some example words, and then we will end with a quick quiz to see how well we can pronounce the difference between each of these as well. Of course, as always, as I go through this, if you have questions or comments, things like that, be sure to let me know. I have our chat box open so that way I can see anything. Let me just actually make it a little bit smaller just in case people have questions and things. Yep. So let's begin by taking a look at the aw sound to get started. So this ah sound, this is the ah, like for instance, in a word like stop, or in the words that you can see here. And key things about the ah sound is that firstly, you want just to make sure your mouth is wide enough. So your mouth is wide, and again, you want your tongue to be very, very low, especially the back and the front. This is a sound that typically, for instance, if you go to the doctor's office in the United States, they are famous for saying or telling you to say ah, so that way they can see back into your throat. Another thing too that we mentioned in an earlier video, we're concerned about placement. So you really want to make sure you're feeling this sound from your throat, even the top part of your chest area. You want to make sure it's low enough. So it's not it's more ah, ah, and you should really feel that resonance. Ah, ah. Okay. In that first word, for example, lock, lock. And the second one, cop, cop. And the last one, hot, hot. Or if you want to use more of a held T, you can also say that as hot, hot. So again, hot or hot. And again, like I said, mouth wide, tongue low. That's the key thing. If you like to practice with a mirror when you're doing pronunciation, what you should be able to do is you should be able to see back into your throat. For instance, ah, ah. See that you can get really far back when you look. Ah, ah. Okay. Let's now take a look at our second sound here, which is our schwa sound, schwa type sound. And this is, again, you may see different symbols if you like using the phonetic alphabet. You're going to see a couple different symbols. For instance, you may see this symbol, this up arrow or this caret, if the sound is being stressed. Okay, so you can see these are all one syllable words where you're going to get a schwa type sound. And again, it's going to sound like like for instance, that first word, luck, luck, And just some reminders about the mouth position here. We've obviously talked about it in a lot of videos because it's such a common vowel sound. But just some reminders of what you want to be doing. You want to be super, super relaxed. This is, again, the sound that you make when you're not really stressing anything. Okay, you're just being like, notice my mouth's very relaxed. My tongue is relaxed. And another key thing too, in terms of the placement, make sure you're feeling it down around here. If you're feeling the sound more up here or around your nasal cavities and your sinuses, that's not the right place. You want to feel it more here. So it's not it's more The thing that students tend to do when they're mispronouncing this is they're pronouncing more of an ah sound. So for instance, instead of luck, what students tend to do is they tend to say more like lock, lock, but it's not lock, it's luck, luck. So it's not ah, it's more slightly raising that mid or mid back of your tongue, kind of around here. You want that slightly raised. Okay, and again, it should sound like For instance, again, that first word, luck, luck. Hey Rod, good to see you, man. I thought you'd be streaming right now. I was like, oh, I hope I don't interrupt him. If you have questions as I go through these, be sure to let me know. Our next one, cup, cup. Also, sorry if you hear my dog barking. I think the mail just came. Cup, cup. And our last word, hut, hut. So again, all three of those one last time. Luck, cup, hut. Luck, cup, hut. And again, if you're pronouncing these as like lock, cop, hot, That's, again, not quite the right sound. So it's not la, cop, hot. It's more l, c, hut. Let's take a look at our next group. The aw sound. And a quick note, there are lots of native speakers that don't actually pronounce this sound in American English. Instead, what they do is they pronounce an ah sound. So just a note, you will not necessarily hear everyone in North America pronouncing this sound. That being said, it is a standard sound, so that's why we're covering it here. But if you would rather pronounce these with an ah sound, like saying like la, ba, and kat, there's nothing wrong with that. But for the purpose of this video, we're going to separate it as an ah sound. Okay, and Brad, you're starting in a half hour. If I have some free time, I'll try to stop by. My schedule is packed on Saturdays. Yeah, because I'm currently in a meeting right now that we're just on a break for. That's why I was able to start a little earlier today. But yeah, for this aw sound, what are you doing? You're opening your mouth wide. You're raising the back of your tongue. You're lowering the front of your tongue. And as always, trying to feel it in your throat, chest area. And again, it should sound like aw, aw. If you're having trouble getting that sound, try to push the front of your tongue down hard against the bottom of your mouth and try raising the back of your tongue a little bit higher. Aw, aw. For instance, that first word, law, law. In the second word, bought, bought. Or if you want a held T, you could say also bought, bought. In the last word, caught, caught. Or again with a held T, caught, caught. So again, law, bought, caught. Compare that again to the ah sound, which some people may be used to. Again, you would pronounce that more la, bought, caught versus law, bought, caught. One last vowel sound that we're going to be using for our comparison for these minimal pairs is the O sound. This is our only diphthong in this group. Again, O, O. For instance, in that word, first word there, low, low. And if you're looking at my lips, you should be able to see there's a little bit more movement going on here. So again, O, O. And if you want to make it even punchier, you can exaggerate it. You can make your lips a little smaller and rounder at the end, like O, O. You can also do that as well. That's not necessary. And what you're doing, again, it's a diphthong, so there is some movement here. You want to start with your mouth wide, in the back of your tongue high, in the front of your tongue down. And again, it's going to start kind of like with this sound, like an type sound. And then you're going to finish with your mouth, again, a little bit rounder and smaller. And your tongue's going to be much flatter. And it's going to kind of end with this ooh sound, ooh. And of course, again, making sure that the sound, you're really feeling it here. What you don't want this to sound like is the oh. It's not oh. It's a little bit too tense, like around this area, towards the back of your mouth. You again want to feel it down here. Okay, so again, that's going to be more oh. So it's not oh, it's more oh, oh in these words. And Rod, I see your comment. I'll be right there. So for instance, low, low, boat, boat, and so, low, boat, so. Trying again to really keep that sound low in your throat, top of your chest area. Okay, and again, it's not low, boat, so. It's more low, boat, so. Really trying to keep that sound low. Okay, those are the 4 sounds we're going to be taking a look at. Before we move on, though, Rod brings up a great point. So a lot of students are confusing words like look, book, and Luke. Okay, part of the reason I didn't include the I included the ah sound, the sound, the aw sound, the o sound. I was thinking about concluding the sound and the oo sound, like in look versus Luke, those types of sounds. But I do already have some videos on those, but just to kind of highlight them, since they have been mentioned. When you're making that sound like in look, just notice again that my lips are much straighter. Okay, so my lips are pretty straight. And the back of my tongue is a little bit high, and the front of my tongue is down. That's how I get that sound. Look. If that sounds a little similar to you, like luck, can you compare those, like look versus luck? Look, luck, look, luck. Notice again for look, L-O-O-K, look, look. It's just a little bit tenser because, again, the back of my tongue's higher. Whereas for luck, my tongue is much, much, much more relaxed. And it's more like the mid-back of my tongue is raised. So there are some slight differences there. If that's a confusing sound for you, definitely check out our video that goes into more details on that. I'll try to include a link to that after our live session. And then also, before I move on, next thing mentioned also Luke. So if you're making the ooh sound, ooh. So again, we did luck, but this is more Luke, Luke. Look how much rounder my lips are. Luke, Luke, luck, Luke, luck, Luke. Small round lips, back of your tongue high, front of your tongue down. Ooh, ooh. Very light sound. You're going to feel it. Again, you want to make sure that the sound is really coming from like your throat area. So make sure it's low enough. And you're also going to kind of feel the sound more towards the front of your lips. It's a light sound. It's not super heavy. It's like ooh, ooh, loo, Luke. It's not loo. Something, for instance, working with some Italian students recently. And the ooh sound in Italian is definitely a little bit stronger than what you're going to see in English. So it's not loo. It's more loo, loo. Relax your mouth more. It doesn't need to be super, super tense. Rod, if you have other questions about those, be sure to let me know. Thank you for bringing those up. Those definitely are confusing vowel sounds for a lot of people. You know, and if you're interested in this pronunciation analysis, I definitely encourage you to check out our Telegram group because we do this pretty much every day. We look at example words like you see here, and we do exercises. I make recordings, and then you can make your own recordings, and I give you feedback on how it's going. I can give you suggestions like, oh, I think that sounds good, or things like, oh, you need to get the sound lower in your chest, or you need to straighten your lips, or you need to round your lips, or raise your tongue, lower your tongue, all kinds of things to try to get your sound a little bit more natural for what you're seeking. So again, that's in our Telegram group option. You can visit patreon.com/fluentamerican. All right, so now that we've done we've covered all the vowel sounds for our quiz now. So let's just take a moment to look at these. I'll give you a moment to read that first line, then I'll read through it, and you can see how well you did. Okay, I'll read it in about 5 seconds. Okay, let's take a look at that top line. First word, bot, bot. Second word, but. Our third word, bought, bought. And our last word, boat, boat. And all of those again. Bought, but, bought, boat. And you can also hear I was pronouncing T's on all of those. You can also pronounce those with a held T. So for instance, bought, but, bought, boat. Our next group, the C's. First word, cot, cot. Second word, cut, cut. Our third word, caught, caught. And the last word, coat, coat. All of those again. Caught, cut, caught, coat. And again, you can also pronounce those with the T, like caught, cut, caught, coat. How about our last group? And seeing comment by Ron, of course. First word, lot, lot. Second word, luck, luck. Third word, laud, laud. And the fourth word, load, load. Hey, Zobeda, thank you for joining us. Zobeda, I know that you've been commenting on videos recently, and I always appreciate that. For whatever reason, I can never see the comments, though. They're always disappearing for me, and I'm not sure why that is. I check to make sure you're not blocked, you're not on any list, so I'm not sure why I can't see your comments. But please know that I appreciate them, and I see them when you initially post them, but then after that, I can't see them anymore, and it makes me sad. because I want to respond, but it doesn't let me. But again, that last line, lot, look, laud, load. And again, you can also do held sounds for those two, like lot, luck, laud, load. Notice that you can use held sounds for also D's. So instead of saying laud, you could also just say laud. Or instead of load, you could just say load. Let's to get a little bit more practice in, let's kind of just read down some of these words. Hey, Rana, thanks for joining us. Good to see you again. Let's read down the ah sounds again. So ba, kat, lot. And the schwa sounds, second words, but, cut, luck. Third words, bought, caught, laud. And the fourth words, boat, coat, load. Let's just read through everything again one last time. And of course, if you guys have questions about these, be sure to let me know. So, bought, but, bought, boat, caught, cut, caught, coat, lot, luck, laud, load. All right, so again, those are the major vowel sounds that we wanted to target for today. Ah sounds, sounds, aw sounds, and o sounds. I'll be posting links in the lesson notes and also in the comments to some videos that will go over each of these sounds in case you feel like some of these sounds are tricky or a little bit difficult. If you only can target one sound, like if there's only one sound that you have time to study, I would definitely suggest making it that schwa sound, that middle one, like but, cut, luck, just because, again, it's the most common vowel sound in English. It appears often when words have reductions and things like that. So you want to make sure that that sound at least is coming clear. Beyond that, the ah sound is definitely a sound that I think can help distinguish American English from other forms of English. You know, typically you're looking at British English, you get something that's a little bit more similar to an ah sound, like bought versus bot. Okay. Again, my British English certainly is not the best, but that's definitely another way that you can really start to differentiate yourself. The O sound and aw sounds are sounds that you can also find in British English and American English as well. Thank you guys, as always, for your time. I do appreciate it. Sorry I have to run our class a little bit short today because I have to run to a meeting. But if you're interested in having a class to talk about these sounds or other things in more detail, you can do that by visiting fluentamerican.com and check out our lessons page. You can schedule a class. It shows your time zone, so that way you know that whatever class you schedule works for you, and it also works for me. But yeah, you can review all the sounds that we've talked about in the video. If you guys have other sounds that you would like to review in the future, be sure to let me know. But I, as always, appreciate your time, and I hope to see you very soon. Have a good day, have a good night, and a good afternoon, and you guys take care. Bye. Thanks, Mom.